because it was not raising their voice. And now, as an association, we have a 3-year strategic plan. We propose to Ministry of Environment and Special Planning the action to start with licensing, and we have a 1-year action plan. We presented to the ministry and they adopted. So we will start from March to implement that action plan. Also, in planning and regulation of definition of architecture, we presented to ministry the regulation as who is entitled to keep or who is entitled to take architectural degree. We also are working on an action plan to present for education and to university, which will be also presented to Dean of University of Prishtina, so that the community is not all the architects here presented are members, but we have for a moment 100 members, paid members, and with them we are working together to try to regulate our profession. And I think we have also the program as association in cultural heritage, because we are working with Jegana Hoxha. And also we think that international community should involve us more and should invite us in their steering committees, because that is missing, especially from UN Habitat. We think that they should invite us. Also, I think for future we already discussed with ISO, so we can start cooperation with that. So thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I think if I make a little bridge maybe to the next statements and questions, I think I'm a little bit, I mean, there are things going on. It's not as bad as it has been sometimes now in the statements before expressed, as in my perception. Because there is a will, as I perceived it, by the community, by the citizens of Prishtina, that the situation should change. This was clearly outspoken also during the elections. And I personally know that there are politicians who really want to change, and there are professionals who want to bring their expertise in. They do it in different ways, and there will be power plays in it, there will be political implications maybe in it, but at the very end, it's very much to get into this process of discussing it, to make it transparent in discussing it, in trying to bring in different stakeholders. Even if you don't agree always about the whole things, you have to find that you have to go through this process of negotiating. I'm also in the advisory board of the chief architect of my town in Berlin, and I can tell you these processes can be really hard for years, taking on, if you really want to bring all stakeholders to have a consensus about this thing. On the other hand, sometimes you have an urgent need to do things. So it's a very fragile political process. This is going beyond planning, it's political, it is about, and for that reason it is so important that there's a public consensus and that the public is somehow integrated. I think the idea about this today was also raising this awareness and discussing it, and I have to add also what Wilma said. Don't think that the Dutch or wherever, that this came from heaven, you know. This is also a process of fights, of political fights, to have this kind of planning system. I've been squatting houses when I was in your age to protect them against destruction, and that was a big movement, and we were even put into jail and whatever doing these things. But this became a political movement and changed policy. And now every politician in Germany is talking about it. You know? I just give this as an example, because it is, and it's still discussed. You know, it's still, you have to adjust it. You have to rethink it. You have to revision your own profession. I agree with Ole Baumann saying, like, okay, we have to think also as architects beyond making design. I agree totally with it. It's going beyond this, and we have really, as planners, architects, urbanists, we really have an important role in this, bringing in professional expertise. But somehow we have, and that's where I agree with Marcel, it needs to come and go, but I think it's here. I mean, this is a young nation, it's the capital city, and everybody I'm talking with wants it to be really showing the world that this is a capital city. So you have to start doing it, you know, and I think that's what it is about. So don't complain too much about the UN. They will go out. The EU will also go out one time. I hope so. And don't blame your politicians. Don't blame whoever. It's not the architects, not the politicians. It's not the clients. It's not the developers. It's everybody who's involved in the process, including the internationals. You know, that's my. No, I made a statement. I was not the moderator. Sorry. But maybe we keep on with the statements on your list. Yeah.